If you need sleepers in week 3, we've got you covered. Sam and I will each give you our 3 favorite sleepers for the week. Then we'll spend a few minutes answering your start sit questions before we cap things off with our flaming hot, bold predictions. Sam, let's kick it off with you. Who is your first sleeper?
They're flaming hot, those bold predictions every
Flaming.
week, man. It's like we should tell people in the future, just, bring your marshmallows.
Yeah. First them up.
My first bowl or my first sleeper, and I don't know if you can call it a sleeper, because he's officially made it onto most teams, but on a lot of teams, players already had a starting tight end, and they might have hit the jackpot when they got a hold of Harold Fannin Jr. From the Browns. I kind of thought, week 1 was just kind of an aberration. But he came back in week 2 and did it again. He's got 12 catches for 111 yards. This week, it's a tough matchup. They're going against the Packers, who have a good defense, but they have allowed 12 catches for 178 yards over 2 weeks, and they have allowed a touchdown in each of those 2 games, 2 tight ends. Now, I will say the strange thing here is I noticed Fannin doesn't always line up at tight end. So, Njoku is probably still in play. I don't think they're really cannibalizing each other at this point. But Fannin runs a lot of that big slot role, which is really fun, and it's obviously suiting him well so far. But regardless, he's running tight end style sets out of that spot. So I still think he's going to give the Packers fits. I'm starting him over guys like Laporta this week. A couple other name guys that would normally just go straight into your lineup, but if you look at the matchups, maybe they're not that great. But I think Fannin's a must start this week, not just a sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really, 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 really strong to start the season. I mean, he's tight end 6 and then tight end 12, I believe. Yeah, tight end 6 and tight end 12 to start the season. Back-to-back weeks, he's had really productive games. And you mentioned the Packers defense has been like suffocating first couple of weeks, but this could be a game. Well, first of all, the Browns are going to be trailing, so they are going to be passing, at a high volume like they've been with Joe Flacco. But this might be a game where, Joe Flacco doesn't have a ton of time to sit back in that pocket and wait for guys like Cedric Tillman and Jerry Jeudy, even David Njoku, to get open down the field. He's going to need to get the ball out quick. And Harold Fannin has been taking a lot of that quick stuff, that short underneath. He's taken a lot of even screens and stuff. He's been getting that type of work.
Yeah, and coming out of college, one of the things I think that I liked most about him is he was one of the most athletic players, not tight ends. He was one of the most athletic players at the combine, as far as his numbers on like vertical jump. He ran faster than a tight end. He makes cuts better and so on like that. So, if a linebacker gets stuck on him, the sky's the limit. I mean, and he can run after the catch.
Yeah. All right, I like it. Start your Browns now, because the second that Joe Flacco gets benched, it is RIP. Over.
You know what? I was talking about that with somebody today. How long do you think it's going to be before that happens?
I'll give him a couple more weeks.
I mean,
2 to 3.
Like, are they really excited to get Dylan Gabriel in there?
No, I don't think they are. Although he did get in there last week at the end.
Right.
Of that
Well, yeah, but they were down 31 at that point.
But even by that point, Joe Flacco could get killed before that even happens. So
right.
All right. How about my first sleeper? I'm gonna go Tyler Allgeier for this one. He's 38% rostered on Yahoo leagues. Now, first of all, Bijan Robinson is going to absolutely torch this Panthers defense this week. So I don't need to tell anybody to start Bijan. But
I think the Falcons are going to torch the Panthers defense.
Yeah.
As a collective unit.
Yeah. With that said, I think there's room for Tyler Allgeier to have a day of his own as well. He's had double-digit carries in both games so far. He scored 15 fantasy points and was the RB19 against Minnesota last week. And now he gets a Panthers defense that just routinely gets gashed on the ground. They've allowed the 7th most rushing yards for the first 2 weeks. And that was after allowing the most rushing yards in 2024. So nothing's improved for them, really. And we saw what Travis Etienne did to them in week 1.
Yeah, Etienne tore him up.
He tore him up, and it's Travis Etienne. In 2 games against the Panthers in 2024, Tyler Allgeier averaged 88.5 total yards and 14.4 fantasy points in those 2 games. That included an RB11 finish in week 6. So he's done it against them before. He was RB31 even in week 18. That's usable. Very usable. And the Falcons should get out to an early lead in this one. They might even win in a blowout. So they're going to be leaning on the run game in the second half, which could mean...
And there's going to be garbage time.
Exactly. So that's going to mean extra Tyler Allgeier touches in this game. We saw it last week with the Falcons in control against the Vikings. Tyler Allgeier ran 16 times for 76 yards and a touchdown. It could be a similar opportunity for him in week 3 and against a much weaker defense than the Vikings. So I would start Tyler Allgeier as like an RB3 or flex play this week if I need one.
I like that. I like that a lot. And, on one hand, I understand that a lot of times Bijan owners get perturbed when, the other guy out of the back. But, I mean, look around the league. Every team is using a secondary running back. It's just because you think that the guy can carry the load, he can, but it sometimes it doesn't always play into the game script that way. What was it was it week 1 or last week? Bijan had like a 90-yard reception for a touchdown.
Yeah, week 1.
Meanwhile, Allgeier is running through the tackles. So I mean, the two of them are they can coexist. So I like that. I like that a lot. I think I'm gonna go. Can I run a 2 tight end set here?
Yeah, let's hit us with another one.
Okay, cool. We're gonna run a little 12 formation here on yards per fantasy. I'm once again looking at someone who might not be your number 1 tight end option, but again, this is another one that I say put the other guy aside if his matchup isn't good and get Kyle Pitts into your lineup. He's sitting at tight end 11 right now, I believe. Through 2 weeks, he's got 11 catches for 96 yards. Hasn't found the end zone yet. But I think we all know that it's only a matter of time. And it's most encouraging that he's got a quarterback that he seems to have a little bit of a rapport with. Penix is not scared to throw him the ball. And they're also taking him out of the inline and 3 down, 2 hands down blocking schemes. They're lining him up in the slot more often, and putting him as a weapon out there with London and Mooney. So Fannin is all set up. I'm sorry. Pitts is all set up for a game. We were just talking about Carolina and how horrible they are, and that, I think the Falcons can have their way in any way or in all of the ways with them this week. Keep in mind, this is Carolina is a team that was 30th against tight ends last year. They haven't exactly looked very good. They look like they're well on their way to that sort of number again this season. I am one of the people that have always been a Kyle Pitts fan. And this time, I didn't draft him as much this year. I was like, maybe it's me. Sometimes you don't watch a game because you're like, when I watch, we lose.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I'm doing this to Kyle Pitts because I didn't really watch his first season.
It's like
but I'm ready for him to turn the corner, and I think this week is a great opportunity for him to continue what he's started this season.
Did you see the clip? The Patriots game, Dolphins last week. Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, and Demario Douglas. They had to sit in the same spot on the bench because every time they were sitting in that order at that spot, right, good things were happening. So that's you with Kyle Pitts right now.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I used to be way worse than that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't wear my jersey for about 2 years because one time I had it just hanging over my shoulder and we won. And I was like, that's where it goes now.
I used to wear the same shirt for every Patriots game for years. They won 6 Super Bowls.
Did you stop wearing it?
I did. As soon as Tom Brady left, I'm like, I'm done with this. It's my fault.
You ruined it.
Sorry. But yeah, no, Kyle Pitts, this might be the best role he's had in a while. He's had target shares of 19% and 24% in the first 2 weeks. He ran 100% of the routes last week. This is the best usage we're getting from Kyle Pitts. The touchdowns are going to start to come. He had 7 catches in week 1. This is a guy I think it's going to happen this year. I really think. I've never been the Kyle Pitts guy. You've been the Kyle Pitts guy, not me. I've been the anti-Kyle Pitts guy, and I'm on board. I'm on the bandwagon right now. I
think it helps him that, with the emergence of Penix at quarterback, taking over last year, and the complete boom that London felt when Penix took over, and the fact that Mooney has stepped forward and shown that he belongs in a starting lineup, I think that's taken some pressure off of Kyle Pitts. And it's no longer just when you're talking about the Falcons, he's the first person you point at.
He's 24 years old.
I'm not saying there's a mental thing there, but I am saying, like, it's kind of nice when you're flying under the radar. You know what I mean? When teams aren't like game planning just for you.
He's 24 years old. He's just a baby still. He's just breaking into his prime. Just breaking into his prime. He's already got a 1,000-yard season under his belt. I don't think that just goes away. So,
yeah.
All right. Moving on to my next sleeper. I'm going to go with a wide receiver. How about Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman is rostered just 33% of Yahoo leagues. He hasn't really done much as far as fantasy production to begin the season. He only has 4 catches and 6.5 combined fantasy points for the first 2 weeks, but he's second on the team in targets. He's had target shares of 21% and 14% to begin the season. He's on the field plenty. He's second on the team with a 79% route participation rate. And now the Ravens are entering a game against the Lions where they're probably going to be passing more than they had more than they had to in the first couple of weeks. This game has the highest projected point total of the week, 53.5. There's going to be lots of points, lots of passing, lots of fantasy production in this game. And that means it's a lot more likely that we get one of these pop-up Rashad Bateman spike weeks that he gives us, every few per season. He had multiple wide receiver 1 games last year. He scored a touchdown in more than 50% of his games played.
He had multiple wide receiver 1 finishes?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Not wide receiver 1 overall, but top 12.
Well, yeah. Like as a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, multiple last year. He's a big play threat, both down the field and after the catch. He fits the exact archetype of a wide receiver that we'd want to just take a flyer on in a situation where we need to play someone off the waiver wire. He's got big play upside. He's got a good offense, good quarterback. The opposing team scores a ton of points. It's a high game total. He's on the field. He gets targets. So if you need like a 1-week dart throw with upside, there aren't many better candidates than Rashad Bateman in week 3. Like I said, he's rostered just 33% of Yahoo leagues. If you need that dart throw play, you need some upside in your flex spot, Rashad Bateman could be your guy.
I like that. And that is, it's, I'd be remiss if I said, first of all, guys, we'll get to the questions after we get through the next couple sleepers. So don't go anywhere. I just forgot what I was going to say. There are a lot. The one thing with Baltimore is that it feels like each week Lamar could pick out one receiver and that's the guy. But in a week like this, when it's going to be just scoring upon scoring, it's no longer a lottery ticket at that point. You're making an educated guess that everybody's going to be involved. Especially in the red zone, because Mark Andrews has been having some problems down there. So yeah, I love this pick. I love this pick a lot.
Can I give you a bonus, even deeper sleeper from this game?
Please do.
I would throw out the name Justice Hill, who also gives us a few usable weeks per year. And this is the game environment type that Justice Hill could pop up for. He's had a 10% target share or more than 10% target share in both games so far. He's been on the field for over the 40% of the snaps. This could be a game where Justice Hill, if they're passing the ball a lot, there's a lot of points scored in a PPR league. He could catch a handful of passes and give you at least like a floor play. He can give you 8 points, 10 points as a sleeper this week if that's what you need. So I like him as like a Hail Mary play.
I can't get on that train because I hate Justice Hill.
What was your next sleeper?
But I'll tell you what, I'll take Rachaad White, and you can have Justice Hill. You want to make that a bet? We'll make a bet.
That
I'll take Rachaad White.
Justice Hill outscores Rachaad White this week?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
All right. Okay. I figure I've gone a little heavy with the tight ends and with the the amount that they're rostered. Both of them are in like the 70% range, if I'm not mistaken. I know Kyle Pitts is at like 72. So a lot of times these are not guys you can run out and grab. Although I would say check the waivers though, because those two guys I think are going to hit this week and they might be available. So now I'll go deep. I'm talking deep cut, like internal bleeding, like you don't know how badly what you just said hurt me. Like deep cut.
All right.
And that is Jalen Naylor from the Minnesota Vikings.
Is he getting a quarterback upgrade?
What can I say about Jalen Naylor? A 6th round draft pick who last year I think caught about 30 balls, but it was for about 400 yards. He found the end zone 6 times. And this is the last week that Addison will miss. Now, what this depends on is whether or not Carson Wentz is the Carson Wentz we know he can be, or at least in that direction, as opposed to just being a dumpster fire. But we don't know because we haven't seen him play in so long. But I know that everybody's starting all the other Vikings, and I know that Jordan Mason is going to really open up that passing game by keeping them honest against the run. And I'm excited to watch him tomorrow for sure. Naylor's got, believe it or not, he's got a 93% snap share on the team, even though it's only amounted to 4 receptions. That's one of those things where you're like, well, he hasn't really done anything. And I'm like, yeah, but he's gonna, like, if they're targeting him that much. And I understand that Wentz is not McCarthy, but I also think that Wentz would have a nicer touch to get him the ball than McCarthy, who prefers to kind of zip it. Wentz can drop it in there. He's also got 40%. 40% he's targeted in the red zone, which means he's got a really good chance at touchdown still. And his routes run versus man coverage, which he's going to get against Cincinnati. Cincinnati typically plays a zone. But when you've got somebody like Jefferson on the field and they commit extra help to him, especially safeties over the top, that usually leaves one person that's in a one-on-one situation. That's going to be Naylor. And he's liable to be lined up against Dax Hill, which is not the greatest matchup in the world, but Dax Hill is certainly not invincible. Jalen has run, he is 17th in the league in routes run versus man coverage, with 32 of them. I think he's run 12 routes versus the zone and 32 against man. So the biggest endorsement I can give is I have put Jalen Naylor in like 5 of my lineups over guys that I would normally never start him over. There's just something about the way this lines up, how bad the Bengals pass defense is, the chance that Carson Wentz comes out of nowhere and is himself. It's just it's too tempting. I can't stay away from it. He's rostered in like 4% of leagues, and he'll be the wide receiver 2 against the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
I feel like I'm usually the one picking on that Bengals defense.
I know. Listen, but I never say you're wrong. I'm like, no, you're right. They're bad.
Yeah, they're bad. You mentioned his volume of routes last week. He ran 100% of the routes.
Yeah.
He and Justin Jefferson, they both ran 100% of the routes. And I hate to say it, but is Carson Wentz even a downgrade at quarterback right now after what we've seen the first couple of weeks from JJ McCarthy? Is there even a difference?
I doubt it. But the last 2 times we've seen Carson Wentz was week 18 of 24 and week 18 of 23 in nondescript games that nobody cared about. And I think in one of them, I don't even think he had 100 yards passing. But I mean, the guy's been practicing with the ones all week. You know what I mean? Even when he's filling in on week 18, he's not practicing with the ones. He's practicing with the guys that are also being shoved out there. So, I think there's a chance if this is a perfect opportunity for Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? To come in and then your first game is against one of the league's worst defenses.
Yeah. Could extend his career with just this one game.
Right.
All right. Well, I think just like we said with the Browns, if you're going to start them now because Jordan Addison's coming back next week and he's going back in the box.
Yep.
All right, moving on to my third and final sleeper before we get to your questions in the chat here. I'm going to go. This one's not going to be nearly as deep as what you just gave us. But everybody needs a quarterback this week. There are 5 quarterbacks already. It's week 2. 5 quarterbacks are injured, not playing in week 3. I'm going to go Caleb Williams. It's been a shaky start, to the season for Caleb Williams and the Bears offense. They're 0-2. They're coming off a blowout loss to the Lions. But this week, I think we're starting Caleb Williams in our fantasy lineups. That's because through 2 games, the Cowboys have been the 5th easiest matchup for quarterbacks. In week 1, Jalen Hurts was the QB8 against them. In week 2, Russell Wilson carved them up. Yeah. Russell Wilson, 450 yards.
Mr. Unlimited.
450 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He was the QB2 overall against this Cowboys defense. And Caleb Williams, despite being kind of like a roller coaster as a real-life quarterback, he's done some good things for fantasy football. He was the QB9 in week 1. He finished as a top 10 quarterback 5 times in 2024 during his rookie season. He has the weapons. He has the arm. He has the rushing ability to put it all together and have a big spike week. He's finally built that chemistry with Roma Dunze, who's looking like he's having a second-year breakout, which you called that last week. And the Cowboys, they're likely going to get out to a lead in this game. The Bears will have to play from behind to keep up. And that should mean, plenty of pass attempts. And with dropbacks, pass attempts, passing plays for Caleb Williams comes some scramble opportunities as well. And I think that's where, we can get some extra points from Caleb Williams when he takes off and scrambles. Like I said, with all the quarterback injuries this week, you could do a lot worse than Caleb Williams. But I don't think he's going to just be like a serviceable quarterback for you, a replacement level guy. I think he's actually going to be a difference maker in your lineup. I'm ranking him this week. Call me crazy. I'm ranking Caleb Williams as my QB7.
You're crazy.
3. I'm crazy. I got him ahead of Patrick Mahomes. I got ahead of Drake May, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, He's the QB7 this week. I am confidently starting Caleb Williams. You're not starting him for your real life team. Get over it. Just your fantasy team. You want fantasy points. Play Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think Caleb gets a little bit of a bad rap from fantasy managers, just because he hasn't been yet what everybody hoped he was going to be. They thought, he would just explode on the scene. And this is always typical of fantasy. It's what have you done for me lately? And we sour on people too quick, and we get too excited about people too quick. CJ Stroud. But the Caleb does have, he has all the tools there. And certainly he's got the weapons. And if I'm not mistaken, I think besides the Baltimore game, that's the second highest total of the game this week.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
With Dallas. And I have Caleb in 2 leagues. I'm not starting him in either one of those leagues because I'm starting Dak Prescott across from him. Because the Bears defense isn't very good.
Trash.
And not that the Cowboys is.
Well, I think that's another case for starting Caleb Williams. The Bears defense is so bad that that offense needs to try to keep up with it. So
yeah. So I'm digging that, and I think everybody needs to cool their jets on Caleb. He's gonna be all right. It's just gonna take a little more time, and he's got a brand new coach now, so give him a second.
All right. I'm not going there, but I'm week 3.
Oh, you're not going there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about Caleb Williams long term, but week 3, fire him up. All right. So let's get to before we get to our flaming hot bold predictions. Why don't we grab a few questions from the chat? I just want to remind people that we do a start sit show right here on the RSP Fantasy YouTube channel every Sunday. About 12:15, we go live all the way up to kickoff, answering your questions.
Be here.
So if we don't get to them right now, because we're just going to grab a few, make sure you're on that show tomorrow, and we'll definitely hit you with that. Let's get this one from Caden. He was here at the beginning of the show. Jordan Love or Bo Nix? Who are we starting in week 3?
Gosh, I don't love either of their matchups. And I don't love the possibility of the game scripts either. But I think I would defer to Love in this case as having probably a better shot at going to his ceiling. So yeah, if it was me, if I'm choosing between the two, I would go Jordan Love.
Okay, I think it's close. I think I would actually lean Bo Nix. I just think you give me the scrambling ability, plus more likely to be playing from behind, playing in catch-up mode. I'm going to go that way, but it's close. How about half PPR? Allgeier Manor, who, by the way, a huge hit from this show last week. I don't think anybody else was talking about Allgeier Manor in week 3. I mean, week 2.
Yeah.
He was on our thumbnail. He was on the thumbnail.
Turned into one of the big waiver claims.
Yes. Yeah, we're pretty good at being kind of a week ahead. So Allgeier Manor or Michael Pittman?
Who are the Colts playing again?
Colts. They're playing each other. Colts and Titans in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll take Pittman. And it really hurts me to say that because I don't like Michael Pittman at all. But he seems to be headed towards a little bit of a resurgence now that he's got a quarterback that can throw the ball. accurately under center. So, yeah, I gotta go Pittman, and that Colts defense right now looks for real.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go Michael Pittman there as well. How about we need quarterbacks this week? Jake Browning or CJ Stroud?
Oh boy.
Stroud against the Jaguars, Browning against the Vikings. They're both on the road.
I mean, the Vikings' pass defense is awful. So what I said about Wentz against the Cincy Bengals, you could say the same for Browning against the Vikes. He's set up in a good situation. He got cut by them and then beat them last year. I don't know if everybody remembers that when he screamed into the camera, "You should have never effing cut me," which was hilarious. He was fired up. And as a Bengals fan, I really want to say Browning, but I can't. Yeah. I got to take CJ against the Jags because it's the Jags.
Yeah, I agree. I have CJ Stroud ranked as my QB 16, but I do think Browning is streamable.
I got him. Well, yeah.
I got him ranked as my QB 20. So
yeah, I think I even have him a couple spots higher than that. But that's on the basis of, Browning's floor is very low, but his ceiling is extraordinarily high.
Yeah, he had some good weeks when he started a couple of years ago when Burrow was out with the elbow injury. He's got the weapons.
Listen, he doesn't cycle through looks the way Burrow does. So he looks to Jamar Chase first every time. Every time. I mean, as was evidenced last week, Chase ended with 14 catches in that game.
That sounds like a smart quarterback to me. How about Ricky Pearsall or Jameson Williams in the flex? Ooh, really, I don't know if I can bench Jameson Williams. Normally, I think I would lean Ricky Pearsall. I can't bench Jameson Williams in this game against the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't think I can either. And Pearsall, I'm also I'm a little more wishy-washy than I have been on him, just because I expected him to do really well last week. And then last minute, Jawan Jennings said, "I'm playing," and he took all the thunder. So, I don't know what that means about his rapport with Mac Jones, but yeah, I can't sit JMO down in this game.
This game is meant for Jameson Williams. It's a Jameson Williams game. How about Emeka Egbuka, T. Higgins, or Marvin Harrison Jr.? We got to start one of these guys.
Not T. Higgins. Egbuka, did they say for sure he's going to play? They did, right?
Yeah, I think he's.
Yeah, I think they did, because I was going to do Sterling Shepard as a sleeper. You know what? I gotta go. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'm gonna go Egbuka. How about I already have Derrick Henry and Kenneth Walker as my running backs, but I need a flex. Jordan Mason or Javonte Williams?
Jordan Mason.
Despite the fact that for 2 straight weeks you have been taunting me.
Huh?
Despite the fact for 2 straight weeks you've been taunting me on my Javonte Williams is.
I have. You should see Alex texts, DMs, like tags.
I can't escape it.
Javonte, whoa, what do you know? No, man, I'm a huge Jordan Mason fan this year. I know he's playing against my team, but my team stinks against the run. Fire him up, man. I don't think Cam Akers is going to take a lot of his carries.
No, this is what we're waiting for. This is the moment. This is why we have Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones is out. Terrible defense. Backup quarterback. They're at home. They're gonna lean on the run game. The Bengals don't have Joe Burrow, so they're not gonna get out to this big lead. So they're gonna be able to stick to the run game. Jordan Mason, top 12 running back this week, easily. Start him. He's a must play. Must play. All right, let's grab one more. We do have a start sit show tomorrow, so anything we don't get to, hit us up tomorrow. How about let's grab. Okay, let's grab this one from Johnny. The 10-team PPR. He's 0-2. He's had some duds. Just picked up Ramondre Stevenson off of waivers. He had a nice week last week. Do I chance it and start him over Bucky Irving?
No.
We never know when the Trevion Henderson week is going to come.
And also Bucky Irving's a great player, and he gets the benefit of catching the ball.
Yeah, he's a must play. I got him ranked at my RB10 this week. We're not sitting Bucky Irving for Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, don't do that.
I think the Steelers-Patriots game could be one of these ugly, 12-10 type of things. All right. Let's get to our bold predictions to cap off the show. Did you come up with a bold prediction?
I did. And anybody whose question we did not answer, please be here tomorrow at 12:15. We will answer every single question in the chat right up to game time.
That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing is answering questions.
That's all we do. That's all we do. No show, no nothing. Just we're just here for you. My flaming hot bold prediction for week 3 comes courtesy of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
No, I know everybody. No, I deliberately left this person out of my sleepers so that I could make him my bold prediction. Are you ready?
Oh, we're ready. We're ready. The suspense.
Jalen Royals is going to lead the Chiefs in receiving and finish in the top 15 of the league. Probably just outside of wide receiver 1 status.
No. Hard disagree.
Why is that?
What do you mean? It's going to be a top 12 receiver this week?
Oh, yeah.
Does he have a catch?
Huh?
Does he even have a catch?
He doesn't have a game.
I don't think he's been active.
He has not been active. He's been hurt.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's bold. It's very bold.
Here he comes.
It's very bold.
I can't wait. He's going to be all over the waiver wire next week.
I can't wait to get that inactive list tomorrow.
Oh, no. He'll be active.
Jalen Royals, despite the fact that he's healthy now, is inactive.
No. He'll be there.
All right. Well, let's get to my bold prediction. I went crazy bold, not that crazy bold, but probably pretty equally crazy bold with my prediction last week. I'm going to give you, I got 3 running backs I'm going to talk about for my bold prediction.
Wait, that's cheating. You can't do that.
No, it's a bold prediction. It's not a sleeper. Bold prediction. So we talked about Jordan Mason going against the Bengals. He's a must-start, top 12 running back. Kenneth Walker. That's a question in the chat about Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker coming off a really strong game. Probably not going to have Zach Charbonnet this week. He's doubtful going into this game. And they're going against the Saints. They're probably going to get out to a big lead against the Saints. The Saints have a bad defense, bad team. Kenneth Walker took back his backfield last week, and I think he's just going to build on that this week. He's a big play threat. He can score from anywhere on the field. And then we've got Tony Pollard at home. He's had elite usage, right? He's had elite usage. The numbers haven't been there, but elite usage. Easiest matchup they've had all season long so far. So I am predicting that Jordan Mason, Kenneth Walker, and Tony Pollard are each going to finish top 5 among running backs in week 3.